Swing and a miss. Steven Strasburg with 15.
How does a career filled with untouchable dominance end quietly? For Steven Strasburg, once destined to rewrite baseball history, the game not only gave him, but also took away from him. From the heights of the World Series to the depths of injury, his legacy is one of brilliance in the shadow of heartbreak. As the curtain falls, we can't help but ask, is Steven Strasburg's tragedy the price of greatness or the cruel hand of fate? Baseball is a sport with moments and legends, and few athletes transcend the sport itself. Steven Strasburg is that rare player whose talent can capture imaginations and break records. Considered one of the greatest pitchers in MLB history, Strasburg's career embodied the fragility of greatness, from his historic debut to his World Series MVP-winning performance to his devastating injury battle. Strasburg's journey has been both exciting and tragic. This is the story, rich in detail, filled with stats, heartbreak, and a legacy that will always linger. Steven Strasburg was born in San Diego, California on July 20th of 1988 and grew up in a supportive and sports-loving family. His parents, Catherine and Jim Strasburg, were an integral part of his journey. Catherine is an interior designer and Jim is a real estate developer. They fostered Steven's passion for baseball from an early age and encouraged him to pursue his dreams despite his early struggles. As a child, Strasburg displayed a quiet and introverted personality and perfectionistic tendencies that would later define his demeanor both on and off the court. However, his early baseball days were not as glamorous as his career suggests. At West Hills High School, Strasburg was far from a standout. His performances were a bit inconsistent, his fitness levels were below par, and he took the emotional toll of playing at a high level. Scouts at the time didn't see MLB stars developing. They saw a player with great potential, but his potential was buried beneath layers of roughness. Strasburg's turning point came when he attended San Diego State. Hall of Fame outfielder and later coach Tony Gwynn played a transformative role. Gwynn recognized Strasburg's untapped potential and took him under his wing, reshaping not only his physical condition, but also his mental approach. Through rigorous training, Strasburg lost excess weight, improved his focus, and developed a velocity that would make his fastball legendary. Under Gwynn's tutelage, Strasburg's pitch velocity soared, reaching a whopping 102 miles an hour, a far cry from the 80 miles an hour he hit in high school.
Oh, handled it well. Handled it real well. Two-run homer, Jesus Sanchez.
In 2009, Strasburg signed a record $15.1 million contract with the Washington Nationals as the first overall pick in the MLB draft. His debut was met with unprecedented anticipation. On June 8th of 2010, National fans hungry for a savior packed the stadium to watch Strasburg make his major league debut.
In 2010, they drafted Bryce Harper, who was dubbed as baseball's LeBron. 1 year prior, Strasburg was drafted as the consensus top prospect.
Strasburg put on a show that would last through the ages. Against the Pirates, he struck out 14 players in a thrilling 7-inning stretch, including 7 straight batters. There are no steps, there's no tension, just pure dominance. His 14 strikeouts in his debut set a franchise record and was the second highest strikeout total in an MLB debut. It's as if Strasburg single-handedly redefined what a rookie pitcher should achieve. In his first month in the majors, Strasburg struck out 41, an unmatched mark in modern baseball. He posted a 2.91 ERA in his first 12 starts, while his WHIP, on-base percentage, and hits per inning were as high as 1.07. But still, the physical damage caused by his explosive throws was ominous and looming.
Well, not only did he lose 30 pounds in his first semester, he excelled as a closer. However, something unexpected occurred. Between his freshman and sophomore seasons, Strasburg gained 8 miles per hour on his fastball.
Baseball is as much of a test of skill as it is of toughness. And for Steven Strasburg, the first big test came in 2010. That horrible stabbing pain in your elbow, it's a feeling that no pitcher wants to experience. This diagnosis confirmed every athlete's nightmare, a torn ulnar collateral ligament, or UCL. His meteoric rise came to an abrupt end when he underwent Tommy John surgery, a procedure that would sideline him for more than a year and bring uncertainty to his promising career. However, the Nationals remained convinced of Strasburg's potential. They chose to err on the side of caution and carefully managed his recovery. In 2012, Strasburg returned to the mound and silenced the doubters with a stunning comeback. That season, he posted a 3.16 ERA and 197 strikeouts in 159 and a third innings. A clear sign that not only his arm had healed, but he was regaining that dominance again.
We've got no chance against this guy. He throws 1,000 miles an hour. He's got a spitball, a knuckleball, a three-seamer. You don't even need to take your bats up there. Just tip your cap.
But Strasburg's return was not without controversy. The Nationals placed an inning limit on him, limiting his season starts to 28 to preserve his long-term health. The decision came despite the team clinching its first playoff berth in franchise history. Fierce debate broke out among fans and analysts. Some praised the Nationals for protecting their star investment, while others criticized them for potentially sacrificing their chance at a World Series. Will the Nationals' conservative approach pay off, or did they squander an opportunity for glory? The stoppage not only divided opinion, but became a defining chapter in Strasburg's career. To many, it highlighted the high-stakes gamble of managing a generational talent in an increasingly injury-conscious era. For Strasburg, it was a lesson in patience and the weight of being the cornerstone of a franchise. Fast forward to 2019, the year that Strasburg etched his name into baseball immortality. That season, he led the National League in wins and innings pitched. He had a 3.32 ERA and a career high in strikeouts. His 10.8 strikeouts per 9 innings ranked among the MLB elite. But it was during the playoffs that Strasburg ascended to legendary status. The Nationals struggled heavily in the postseason and relied heavily on his arm. In the wildcard game against the Milwaukee Brewers, Strasburg breathed a sigh of relief after going 3 scoreless innings to stabilize a shaky start. He pitched through 7 dominant innings in the NLDS against the Dodgers, allowing just 1 run and striking out 10.
Games was a 23 strikeout complete game shutout, an SDSU and Mountain West Conference record, and a performance Hall of Famer and SDSU coach Tony Gwynn had never seen before. Strasburg was playing so well that big league scouts wanted to see him have a bad game to see how he'd react emotionally.
Then came the World Series. Against the powerful Houston Astros, Strasburg pitched 14 1/3 innings in 2 starts, allowing just 4 earned runs and striking out 14. A masterpiece. Talk about a masterpiece. The Nationals forced a Game 7 and eventually won their first championship in franchise history. Strasburg was unanimously elected the MVP of the World Series, becoming the first #1 overall pick to win the award. Now, with the World Series victory, Strasburg signed a 7-year, $245 million contract, the richest ever for a pitcher at that time. Expectations soared, but his body had other plans. In 2020, Strasburg missed time due to carpal tunnel syndrome and played only 5 innings.
Unfortunately, since then, he has dealt with a multitude of injuries. When he started pitching in the 2020 season, Strasburg said he felt a zap whenever he threw the ball. This was diagnosed as carpal tunnel neuritis, which he underwent surgery for in August 2020. However, Strasburg believes this only delayed addressing the real problem: thoracic outlet syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that's most commonly diagnosed in pitchers with a history of arm injuries and high-effort throwing.
Worse news is coming in 2021: thoracic outlet syndrome, a condition that affects the nerves and blood vessels in the shoulder. Surgery was the only option, but the prognosis for pitchers recovering from the injury is pretty grim. Strasburg just started 1 game over the next 2 seasons. His once fiery fastball, which averaged 95.5 miles an hour in his prime, dropped to 90 miles an hour, stripping him of his most powerful weapon. In 2023, reports emerged that Strasburg's condition had deteriorated to the point where basic daily activities were causing pain. The pitcher, who once seemed destined for Cooperstown, now faced the harsh reality of early retirement. Strasburg's career numbers, although shortened by injury, were still impressive. In 13 seasons, he compiled a 113-62 record with a 3.24 ERA and 1,723 strikeouts in 1,470 innings. His postseason numbers were even more impressive: a 1.46 ERA and 71 strikeouts in 55 1/3 innings. Strasburg was a 3-time All-Star, a World Series champion, and a former league strikeout leader. Yet his career was one that had yet to reach its potential. Baseball Reference's WAR, or wins above replacement metric, put Strasburg's career value at 32.6, which is impressive but well below what it should have been without injury intervention.
Back in June 8th, 7 innings. And quickly out to the mound goes Jim Riddleman and the Nationals trainer and Steve McCatty, and something's not right.
What makes Strasburg's story so poignant is the juxtaposition of his talent and physical fragility. At its peak, Strasburg was untouchable. His combination of fastball, slider, and changeup confused hitters, and his ability to dominate in high-pressure games is second to none. but the very mechanisms that made him great led to his undoing.
But there's more behind these numbers. Through his first 6 starts, Strasburg threw over 50 strikeouts. Between 1901 and 2014, this was done on 72 occasions.
Off the field, Strasburg was a quiet and unassuming figure that contrasted with his dominance on the court. His teammates often describe him as a perfectionist who internalizes failure. Although his body betrayed him, he shows resilience through injuries and setbacks. Stephen Strasburg's career encapsulates the duality of baseball, the fleeting nature of greatness and the enduring power of a single moment. To Nationals fans, he'll always be the hero who brought a championship to Washington. But to the baseball world, he was a reminder of the fine line between immortality and vulnerability. As Strasburg's career came to a close, his legacy was secure. Not in the quantity of his achievements, but in their impact. He was a bright comet that lit up the sport and left an indelible mark, although he was quickly eclipsed. What happens when fate and vulnerability collide? Well, Stephen Strasburg's journey isn't just about delivering heat. It's a story about transcending doubt, embracing greatness, and grappling with a career ruined by a cruel twist of fate. This was the story of baseball's brightest star, whose triumphs and tragedies left an unforgettable mark on the game.